Hey guys, BioSwag here. Sorry for any noise in the background. My window's open because I'm trying to air out my room for company that I'm going to be having later on this week. Today I'd like to do a card discussion on a card that I recently got in a by chance trade, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about it. The card is Tour Bus from the Underworld, and Tour Bus from the Underworld is a level 3 dark effect monster, fiend type, and so obviously it can be used as a tour guide from the underworld. And its effect is, when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one monster in either player's graveyard and return that monster to the deck. So this can be used in multiple ways. For example, let's say your tour guide Finley World is played. You play tour guide, you fetch Sengen. Okay, you synchro or you exceed, you detach, tour guide. Next tour guide you get. You tour guide into tour bus. And then you exceed. And just like Dandelion, this card just has to be sent to the graveyard. It does not have to be in the field. So if it's milled, discarded, sent from the hand, or an XYZ material, it will get its effect. So, when it's sent to the graveyard, you could target your own tour guide from Underworld, putting that tour guide back in your deck to fetch the third tour guide or any other theme type monsters you might be playing. I can see this card being used in Dark Worlds as well, for recycling things like Snow, or possibly Transarchfiend or other cards like that, because Transarchfiend will get the removed cards back from the banished area. So, my main idea of this video is to combine two of my former videos. One of them asking about what would happen to Tour Bus if Tour Guide got limited or semi-limited. And once again, on my comment about the Tour Guide from the Underworld reprint. Now that Tour Guide's getting a reprint, Tour Guide will be more played. Well, will be played more often because we know that it won't be getting hit on the ban list. The OCG does not have Tengu or Tour Guide from the Underworld, thus it will not be getting hit no matter what anybody says or does. The common argument is to say that Allure of Darkness got hit, and yes, it did. It got hit on an emergency ban list. It was not a format list, it was an emergency ban list that got rid of Allure of Darkness. Because decks like Black Wings, Teledad, and other removal decks that used pure dark builds were abusing it at 3 to the point where it was almost unbeatable, and there was no way to stop it. Remember, at this time, we did not have Solemn Warning or Polyduality to get into our cards or to get rid of cards, so people relied on Bottomless Trap Hole and removal. So what would happen to Tour Bus? Would Tour Bus decrease in price as soon as Tour Guide gets a reprint? Because everyone's playing it and everyone's going for Sangan? Well, what if Sangan gets hit on the ban list? Now the OCG has Sangan, and we have Sangan, and Sangan's used in top tier decks, and it's used in just about everything, so what would be stopping Sangan from getting hit? Well, if it did, what happens to Tour Bus? Would Tour Bus see more play? It's in replacement of the banned Sangan? Wouldn't that mean that Tour Bus's price would go up? Possibly back to its $100 price tag that it had right after the sneak peek? Who knows? But what if Tour Guide got limited or semi-limited? Although it is unlikely that we'll see a Tour Guide getting limited or even semi-limited within the next year, possibly in September, but highly unlikely, as they will have just been releasing reprints among other things. Well, will Tour Bus see more play? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking if Tour Guide ever went to 2, then of course Tour Bus would see play, because then you could recycle your Tour Guide after you've used it. So what you do is you summon your Tour Guide, special summon Tour Bus, exceed into a rank 3, first detaching your Tour Guide from the Underworld, and then later on detaching your Tour Bus and or letting it be removed, your XYZ being removed, destroyed, etc., using Tour Bus's effect to put Tour Guide back in your deck. to use again another fiend. Now this would only work if tour guide was at 2, possibly, and if Zangan got hit, tour guide at 3. I can see people, definitely starting to use this card more, especially if top tier plant decks, or any other deck for that matter, starts to use the card. Now, just to prove this is real, it's a real card. So yeah. What do you guys think about this tour guide reprint and what it will do to Tour Bus? I don't care if you think tour guide is good or bad, or if it's going to get banned or whatever like that. I want to know what your ideas are on what happens to Tour Bus. Tour Bus has seen very little play from my knowledge, and it doesn't seem to be in a lot of decks right now. So what do you think? What do you think will happen to Tour Guide, and what do you think will happen to Tour Bus's price after something happens to either Zangan or Tour Guide? Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to respond to them. Thanks.